How's it going, guys? Yet another video on 48-hour build for 2020. It's finally complete. It is 7:10 on Sunday, July 26th, so I had a lot more time. I haven't really done nothing to it in the last couple hours. I let the future floor polish dry on it and everything like that. I got it all in like a nice little display mode, so I figured I'd give it a little view. This was a really cool kit. I kind of wish round 2, I think them are the ones who own some of Tom Daniels' designs. I think a lot of his was monogram and that, but the ones that they still have a tool for, I wish they would actually get them back out. This one was a re-release in 2014. That's what it said on the decals. But they're a nice fun build of a car that don't really exist. Just a figure of his imagination. But it's fun to kind of get outside of the norm and build something kind of fantasy, I would call it. As I was building it, I was thinking I would make a really cool boat, the way that the body is shaped and all that. But I really enjoyed the build. Everybody had some great builds out there, and to show a more in-depth detail of this, I figured I'd do a normal video instead of a live. So let's start it off with the bike. I couldn't be happier the way this turned out. It was kind of finicky at first, trying to get the build going. It's kind of delicate, I should say. The exhaust pipes and everything like that kind of didn't want to go in place, but once you got them in the right spot, they kind of stayed. It's just a little tricky. But it's just the standard colors. I didn't want the one on the box art was all the two pieces was the fenders, gas tank, and a frame. Them were two pieces glued together, or actually, so it's one solid piece. And the picture showed on the box art that it was all red. So the frame, the gas tank, and the fender kind of blended in together, in my opinion. So I painted it that black, and then I masked it all off and then painted the red tank and the red fender. And it wasn't terrible, but that was kind of tricky. And then this little piece down at the bottom, this part of the fender, to get that was quite tricky, because you had this you wanted to mask off, and then this you wanted to mask off. So it was kind of tricky to get the tape to want to work with you on that. But I ended up getting it. I was quite happy. It turned out. There's a better view of the two pipes. It looks like they're a little warped. If I was going to spend more time, I could straighten it out, but it ain't that bad. On these covers, and one on the other side and then on the top, the jugs, I did paint those I think a gunmetal silver. They had a little bit of difference. And then I did a wash. And there's a good view of the fuse. So this is, oops. Kind of tight for space after that build, but this is, I really can't see the gauge of the wire on it. .22 gauge. So it's just this kind of wire right here. Took the shielding off of it, and once I had that off, and then I just twisted it and it made that good looking fuse. Super glued it in the hole that I drilled in the top of the bomb, and then kind of created a neat looking shape where it kind of looked like it's going in the wind. And then one of the last things I did was the headlights. Featured everything that would be glossy: the frame, the fenders, and the trailer. Left all the metal pieces alone. So now on to the car. So this one was done with his design of being a turbo engine, probably off of like a helicopter or something like that. So the engine, you get some really good detail. Some nice detail in there, and it's all one piece, so can't beat that. I did some detail painting before I glued that all together. The headlights, as you can see, the actual stands are clear. I did the suspension, and in the bottom it is in the secondary color, that black. I can't remember the color, it's the tester's color, one coat lacquer. And then for the cockpit, opens up still. There's a hinge right behind the headrest. It'll actually open up all the way back. It sits there. I did some future floor polish on that. Really looked good. Featured over the decals. These ones took really well to it. I think I waited long enough for them to cure. So on the back, I wanted to do that kind of like a louvers. So I wanted to make sure that was black. And then over here is the vent for the exhaust on the jet engine. And then on the bottom is pretty much plain except for the rear end. And then that is that black too. So there's that. And of course, while I was painting all that black on my other build, I did paint the body of the 1/34 scale Jaguar. So I'm going to put the decals with that. That's going to go with the Aston Martin. So figured I'd do that as well. I might put the decals on it tonight and get it going. So hopefully everybody had a great outcome on the build. I know I did. Pretty happy with it. So until next time, I'll talk to you then. Bye.